welcome to the FaithCast Season 2, The Seeker. My name is Pastor Sonia, and on this episode, we have Pastor Jesse.
Hi.
Pastor Jake. That was so loud.
I didn't know where I was looking. It stressed me out.
You took your
Hi.
head off.
This is his first podcast. Oh, guys.
I'm fresh. I'm green.
Hi. Pastor Jake.
What's up?
You're afraid to talk
Need
now.
more energy than that.
Normal
I don't know
one.
what to say.
And Pastor Kaimana.
Hello.
Super excited to have you guys with us today. Okay, let me ask you this. What's harder, finding your keys or finding someone who texts you back?
Well, it depends, actually, because I feel like I always put my keys in the same place.
Okay.
Oh,
But
you're
my
one of
wife's one of those
those.
people that cleans.
Mm.
And when she cleans, things
moves.
I
move.
hate people who
She
clean.
moves
That's
them.
horrible.
She's a great, she does
the
so good.
worst.
But
Great
she'll like
cleaner.
find my keys and be like, I'll put those in this spot. And then I will be like,
Is that spot always different? Whatever she puts
no,
in.
I feel like I'm pretty consistent
No,
with the
her
keys.
spot. When she moves it.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the
So I
problem.
actually don't look. I just go, where did you put my keys?
Oh.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, there they are.
It's a nice way to make sure you talk throughout.
Yeah.
The only thing we talk about.
Yes,
Really.
like
Yeah.
again,
Where are
with
the
the
keys?
The
keys,
location
where
of the
are they?
keys.
The keys and Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, I feel like I can't get a text back from anyone ever, especially even if
Wow.
they emergency text me.
Oh,
They're like, please,
I hate
what?
that.
And then I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Nothing.
That's
That's
weird.
it. I don't even know. Yeah, maybe they're.
That's
Not
weird.
with
You're
us
not
anymore.
You
I don't
don't
know.
experience that.
But I do lose my keys all the time, so I can't even. That's what.
So that's
I
all.
just never. I wish I didn't have keys. Like I just wish my fingerprint.
That's
you know.
coming. I bet you that's on the horizon.
Yeah, I know, but that's
Yeah.
probably bad, right? So I'm
Probably.
prime. I'm prime for that advertisement. But someone talk me out of it.
I lose my keys a lot. I have like the air tag on it.
Ah.
And
need
it
the
still
air
doesn't
tag.
work.
What do you mean?
I don't know why. It's just, I'm
But-
trying to ping it and I still can't find it.
Well, don't you have to charge your AirTag or something like that?
No, you have to like, the battery just dies really quick.
Okay, yeah. So what's the point?
So it's just always dead.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
like my
Whenever,
keys
whenever
are
I
lost and my
lose my
AirTag is dead.
keys, my AirTag battery's dead. So,
So
yeah.
it's
So it
pointless.
hasn't helped me once.
So it's just a nice
actually.
Right.
keychain, really.
Yeah, it
So
looks
it's
cool.
heavy.
That looks cool. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Maybe it'll help me once.
Okay, what are you definitely not looking for right now?
I am not looking for iPhone to update anymore.
Oh.
I don't want any more iPhone updates. I want to choose to not. But
Can't you choose to not?
Yeah, definitely.
like only for a certain amount of time though, I think. And then
Oh.
mine now just does it like while I'm asleep.
Yeah.
But I have
Oh,
like
I think you can change that. Rush is the.
I feel like
Someone can tell me,
if you turn off the automatic though, then at some point it just
Well,
stops. It refuses
it
to
just
like
gets-
work.
Well,
yeah,
it's
your
like
apps will stop working.
they make sure there's like emojis and stuff that you can't see if you don't, or there's like
Oh, yeah.
features.
They kind of give you FOMO.
You need all
a
those
little bit.
emojis.
Yeah, I need them. I'm like box with a question mark. So I don't get the context. But yeah, because I have like an old phone and I want to keep this forever because it's the last mini model.
Oh.
But like this last iPhone update is really trying to like come against
The
my
minis.
desires. Yeah, the
Mm.
minis. If they made a new mini, I wouldn't care, but
Mm.
this is it for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
How old is that phone?
And it's a mini, it's a 13.
What is a mini? Oh, 13.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
what
got
are we on
13.
now? What are we
I think I
on?
have-
I think they're on
14?
17.
Yeah, that seems about right. They're trying to eliminate
Yeah.
14
They're
and
trying
older.
to cut us
Yes.
They
off.
slow it down too.
But-
Yeah.
Watch me go to a flip
Apple
phone.
people.
Yeah. I'm probably not seeking like any show recommendations.
Oh.
You know, whenever you're chatting with people and the
Yes,
conversation always rolls
yes.
into, so what are you watching?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm just not looking for anything because we recently
because
dropped.
you found something.
You're good.
No, we dropped everything.
Oh, okay.
Like we canceled like
Netflix,
Netflix,
all the
Okay.
Peacock.
subscriptions.
We just dropped
Wow.
it all. And so I'm just not looking for any recommendations. 'cause
And you don't
then-
even want to tell everyone
So
that
what do
every
you have,
time
like-
they do it. Like every
Yeah,
time
yeah.
they suggest Netflix, you want to be like, well, we actually can't.
Yeah. And people
you
always
have
think there's
cable?
like a big reason behind it. They're like,
Right.
why'd you do it? And we're like, because we were just not watching.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We just weren't.
Yeah.
But then I don't
Right.
want to hear like people be like, did you watch that show?
Because then
And
you're
I'm
like,
just
oh, well,
all right, I'll get it again. Let's do
Right.
it. So,
I
yeah.
feel that too, because we try to watch a lot of TV, but we can't because we have a bunch of kids.
Well, that's
So it's like,
kinda,
yeah. So I'm-
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, do you watch it? No. And I'm literally never gonna. So just tell me how it ends.
and
you
you
just
just want to know.
Yeah, just give me the highlights.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't like the shows that people usually
Recommend?
recommend.
Oh.
I'll try like the first episode. I'm like, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Have I recommended you any shows?
I don't know.
Probably
Probably.
not. You don't have any.
Well, not anymore.
I feel like most show people recommend to me, I don't really like
Yeah.
most. But
Yeah.
there's a few.
There's a lot of shows too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably too much. I was constantly having like decision fatigue
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
where you just click on and they're like, which movie do you want to watch? We have
Gosh,
1,300
I think
movies. and you're like,
you spend
"Oh my
more
gosh."
time searching on Netflix than actually watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
At
it's
least
like
I-
you used to do
I
that
do.
with like channels. Like you just channel surf and then you'd be like, it's time for
Yeah.
bed.
Channel surf.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you just Netflix surf.
But you would eventually stumble upon something and be like, all right,
Yeah.
we're watching Sleepless in Seattle.
Nick at
You know
Night.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Just-
Out of all the
The fact that you said Sleepless in Seattle and I said Nick at Night.
I don't think we're gonna have subtitles. They're like,
They were like,
"Oh,
what are you
what is Sleepless in Seattle? What is Nick at Night?
I don't even know what yours
Different
is.
generation.
Yeah, you don't know what Nick at Night is? Oh, it's
Nickelodeon?
Nickelodeon at night.
Oh, I thought it was a snack, like a Kit Kat. I'm like, yeah.
It's what
have
she
a
calls
Kit Kat.
Gio. That's
Sure.
her
Watch
nickname.
Sleepless in
A
Seattle.
Nick at Night.
Just some chips.
No.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like, you know, I don't know, Fresh Prince probably is on there.
yeah.
Good show. Good
I don't know
show.
what's on there
Nickelodeon, they
now.
used to
I
call
was a
it
kid.
Nickelodeon, the channel, at night. I don't
Nick
even
at
know if they
Night.
have Nickelodeon.
I
I
don't know.
think they do.
What's that on? Is that
I don't know.
I don't know.
when I was growing up? That was on Fox.
It's on,
Hell.
I think it's on
Nickelodeon?
Paramount.
No,
Foxtel.
Nickelodeon is
No.
its
Oh,
own.
Nickelodeon is its
Yeah.
own channel.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
and
the
then
Disney
at
Channel.
night, they would do like retro
that is?
shows. Back in the
Yeah.
day, they used to do like black and white show, like I Love Lucy. And then it was like Golden Girls.
Yeah.
And then it was
Oh.
like, they would show like
oh, that'd be fun
reruns, which no one knows what that word means either.
Wow.
because they
Gosh,
could just go
everything.
binge
I was like, do you know what the word
watch
rerun
stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you looked at me
Reruns.
like,
Everything's
No.
a
Yeah, but you
rerun.
didn't grow
I'm
up-
surprised that people don't know what that is.
You didn't
yeah,
grow
well,
up with
who
that.
watches a
Yeah, I
rerun?
grew up with reruns.
Well, everything is a rerun, right?
I grew up.
Nothing
When, I
is
grew up
live.
when Netflix like was. You had to. They mailed you the discs.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're not that young. Come on.
I don't think we had
Did
that in
you
Australia.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, probably
They-
did it.
they
That's how
mailed you
Netflix
DVDs.
started. It was like a mail to order.
You'd go to the
Blockbuster.
mailbox,
Yeah.
you'd get your
Yeah.
Yeah,
DVDs.
we didn't get that.
Blockbuster was the greatest.
Yeah.
But then
Miss
Netflix
Blockbuster.
was like, oh, you just ask for it and they just comes to your house. I don't know
Yeah.
if this is me asking for it.
Can I have these DVDs?
Can I have a movie, please?
Can
I
you
have
send
Sleepless in Seattle?
for 2 nights? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't.
I didn't answer this, but I'm not looking for good food right now
Oh.
because we can't eat. Good
Oh.
food.
Oh,
Right.
Way to
Don't
bring us
tell
back
me
on
where
topic.
you eat.
Oh, so
Only
long.
bad
yeah.
food.
No,
Yeah.
but I feel like usually when I'm out and about, I'm like looking for what's nearby.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And
true.
I'm like trying to avoid what's nearby now.
That's true. Every spot we have around
Yeah.
this town is like, oh, and there's some boba. Oh,
yeah,
there's
so
some
pickups and
like
stuff.
dessert. Oh, yeah. And everything's like,
Yeah.
let's just stay home.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes on the fast, though, I want good, like
good,
allowable
fast,
food.
friendly. Yeah,
Yes,
true.
allowable.
It's just
Is that a word?
is now.
Allowable.
Yeah, that's a word.
Yeah.
Only at Nick at Night.
Don't ask me to spell it.
Okay, what's one trait you look for that instantly makes you think, yes, we could be friends?
Definitely someone who makes fun of themselves.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
if you
that's
just like
nice.
immediate, like if you're
That's good.
just self-deprecating, but not in like a weird way, but like a funny way,
Like
then I'm
too
like,
much,
okay,
not
we
too
can
much.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's like someone I can talk sports with. Like I feel like I don't have much good small talk outside of that.
Okay.
So like I don't really
Yeah.
know. If we start talking about politics, I'm gonna back out of the conversation a little bit.
But if
yeah.
it's sports, you're in it.
Yeah, except for I don't know anything about cricket.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Your sports.
But
your-
I
your
like-
neck of the woods.
But I feel like I like talking to anyone who's passionate about something. So if someone's passionate
True.
about something, I get excited
Even if
about
you're
it.
not passionate about
Yeah.
it.
Like if you get super excited about the Buffalo Bills, is that your team?
That's my
Absolutely
team.
not.
Wow, that's so
That's
my
expensive.
team, yeah.
It is a team though,
team.
right? I nailed
It is
Yeah,
a
you
team,
did.
correct,
It's
yes.
a
You did.
team.
What's your
It's
team?
not his team.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Ah, the Bengals.
Yeah, it's a bad time of year for
Yeah, this
you to
is
say that.
not
but-
a good time, man.
Well,
It's a good time to be
like
a
if you're
Bills fan.
passionate about it, I'll get into it. I'll be like, good on you. And the other day, I think they were playing. Not the other day. Have they been out for a while?
Yeah.
It's just
Did they have a bad
constant
run this year?
Yeah,
hurt
bad
that
run.
you're
Okay.
just
Bad news.
Well, I was
bringing it to
watching
the
them at some point, and I
surface.
was like, oh, that's Jake's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
The
it
Bills or the Bengals? I feel like you were
Taylor.
He's really not
He's
sure.
For, we're in orange. That's what I know.
Okay,
It might
yeah,
have
that's
been
my
yeah,
team.
that's it.
That's my team.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's not the Bills.
I always feel like whenever someone, on my first staff meeting here,
Okay.
I think I was chatting with Josh Raj and Pastor
Uh-oh.
Matt came over and we were chatting about something and then Pastor Matt said a line from Dumb and Dumber and I was like, we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, You know what I mean? When
That's
someone
true.
quotes something
That's
from a
true.
movie, you're like, all right,
That's true. If someone quotes a movie that you also know or a
Yeah.
TV show you know and love, yeah.
you're like, we
We're
could
like,
hang
we
out.
have a lot in common.
That
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
I feel like people do that a lot with like office quotes.
Oh, it's
If people
overdone
say
here.
office, you're just
That was
like,
good.
oh, I like them.
Yeah. Do you like The Office?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
More than
Doesn't
cricket?
everybody?
No, I've
No.
met some
No,
people.
there are people that
I've
do
met
not
some
like
people.
The
It had
Office.
its time.
Really?
Actually, that
feel
is a
like-
good tell whether we could be friends. That show specifically.
But
I
that
feel
show, like, even the younger generation. Well, when I was teaching, no.
Yeah. Well, how old are you?
I'm 37.
I'm 31. Would you have taught my generation? That's a little
I'm
close, right?
6 years older than you. So.
I mean, that's possible,
I'm
right?
picturing
Could you be
my
Jesse as
father?
a 6-year-old teaching
me.
me.
Like, tell me about The Office.
I
I feel
was in
like
school.
what?
I'll take this class, guys.
I feel like school is my age. My generation did, and maybe like kids now don't.
Yeah,
Teenagers
so,
now don't.
like middle
but
schoolers aren't watching it.
No.
No.
High
absolutely.
schoolers aren't watching
Whoa.
it. Young adults aren't watching it.
No.
Really?
How old am I?
I
I
feel
don't
like, yeah, people younger than me probably aren't watching it.
Yes.
Like I was the last.
When people tune into this podcast
And I was
they
late
leave knowing
watching
so
it.
much about
They're gonna be,
TV
I need to watch
and
Six
movies.
in Seattle.
They're like, are you guys
Dumb
going
and
to talk about
Dumber.
prayer?
Knick-knack kids, whatever it is. I'm gonna kick cat. Let's do it.
Knick-knack.
Gosh.
Like that's gonna
yeah,
be the new
that's
Knick-knack
incredible.
kids.
Wow. How do we transition?
Oh, that's
Well, that's a
really
big
easy.
one.
That's it.
Speaking of knick-knack kids.
Yeah, so Knick-knack kids. This episode is about the seeker, obviously, but the seeker isn't alone. Even if you watch Knick-knack Kids,
Yep.
you need to
Alone.
make sure that you don't watch that alone.
Yeah.
So on that topic, I do think it's really important that as we are in this topic, that people know, the church knows, the community knows, like you just don't do this alone. Like we
Yeah.
were not created
Yeah.
to be alone. So let me ask you guys this: why do you think seeking God or growing spiritually works best in community and not isolation?
Why do you think seeking God works best in community and not in isolation? Maybe I could be wrong on this, but I don't think you can really be a Christian in you can.
Isolation.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Christianity
is it possible?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
built into the fabric that you be in community.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the language is family,
Yeah.
body. So if you're kind of like, well, I'm Christian and I'm doing it on my own, it's like,
Yeah, like
that's
are
like
you
saying
really
like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
just saying I play baseball, but you're not part of a team.
Oxymoron.
right?
It doesn't really make sense. See how I said baseball, not cricket?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
for
you
you
go.
guys.
Very American.
So that's kind of my thing. I'm like, no, actually, it's in community that you'll really start
Yeah.
to grow spiritually
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I think like seeking anything, if you seek as a group, there's more of a chance that you're gonna find it.
Oh,
right?
that's
Like
cool.
when I lose my keys every week, I'm hitting the group chat, and usually someone else finds them. It's not me. So like I think
Yeah.
it's no different spiritually.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that is good. I think too, your environment it's so much stronger than a lot of other things and venues you might have to grow in God. Like your environment is gonna really determine a lot about who you are, what you like, what you do. You know, like I remember when Gio lived in Missouri and he went to a Chiefs game when the Chiefs weren't good and we didn't watch football. Like it was like there
They're
was
not good again.
this well,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pre
Sorry,
good, post, yeah. We're hurting a lot of football fans in this episode. But I remember he told me about it. And like in Kansas City at a Chiefs game, I mean, it's insane. So like he walks in and everyone is wearing red, everyone is chanting. So he was like, and again, back then, zero interest to ever even
Yeah.
talk about football.
Yeah.
Like he was like right there. He's like, I almost became a Chiefs fan today, you know, only because he walked into the environment and
yeah.
the
Sure.
environment sort of convinced him
Yeah.
that like this is a good thing that you should like.
Yeah.
So when God really is a good thing that everyone should love, being in environments that really reinforce that, it's going to help you.
Yeah.
I
for
think
sure.
it's important. Like
That's true.
the minute, like one of the first things that God said in the Bible in Genesis, he looked at Adam. He
Right.
said, "It is not good for man to be alone."
Yeah.
100%.
That was like even just the whole idea. It is not good for man to be alone. And here's the thing: it was perfect man, sinless. God was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was the most perfect
Yeah.
environment ever. Even at that point, God said, "You know what? This is not good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that we have to remember as believers. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
there has to be there's more to it. Isolation isn't the answer.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys
That's
ever
really good.
tried to do it alone spiritually? At any part in your walk, in your life, you ever tried, I'm just going to do this on my own?
Do you mean like do it on your own, like I'm going to do it on my own? Or do you mean do it on your own, like I'm going to try to overcome certain things without the Spirit?
Well, obviously with God, but maybe not with community.
Yeah.
Just with God.
Yeah,
You
like
and God versus the
certain
world.
things, like maybe just certain
Yeah.
paths, certain seasons. Have you ever tried?
Yeah. Yeah, I probably have. And it's been like less than enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you try to carry burdens, because everyone can go through tough seasons and not everyone wants to be the person that's like, my life's falling apart and this is
Yeah.
going on. Like,
Yeah.
because sometimes you're like, don't be the negative, whatever.
Right.
But so sometimes you'll be forced to carry those alone. And I think on the other side of them, I think you feel like you missed out. Like you kind of go, I wish I brought someone into that. I wish I told someone about that, because not just that it would have helped loosen the burden that you were carrying, but sometimes just getting to speak it out, it just makes you
Yes.
feel better.
Yes, it does.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
having someone care. Like half of counseling is just people talking
That's
and
why
the other
people
person
go,
saying, I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand that would be tough.
That is,
And
I
so-
think
Yeah.
that the whole speak it out, and that's maybe why so many people seek counseling now, because we do have a community issue, like as a society, which probably bleeds into the church more than we want it to. But
Yeah.
I think that, once you share it, you realize, oh, I should have shared that a long time ago. Because I do
Yeah.
think what you said, like you can go through a trial without people and with the Lord. And some of those, maybe a lot of those trials, if you really are with the Lord, like you can get through them.
Mm.
It's not impossible, but once you did it, you kind of have like a clear head again, and you're like, oh, I could have just like probably gotten through this a lot faster or a lot easier
Yeah.
if I would have just. But I do think sometimes if you go through something and you're not already planted in a community, then it's almost, you feel like, I don't want to meet these people, and then the first thing I say is, hey, my life's falling apart, like you want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So I do think it's important to have community before you need it, so that when you need it, it's already kind of established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
when you don't bring people into your space,
Mhm.
you deny them to be empathetic
Yeah.
and be compassionate
Yeah.
and pray for you. And so it's kind of got that part as well, where it's like,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be like, well, I don't want to be the person that brings it down, but it's
Not
like,
just for you.
exactly.
them
Yeah.
too.
People
Yeah.
people want, especially Christian, like people have got deaf, they want to walk.
Yeah.
That's like why we're built, right? We're like, we want to bring the meals,
wanna
and we
pray
want to
for
like,
you.
we
Yeah.
want to sit with you, and
Yeah.
It's
you
funny.
do.
I feel like I talk to a lot of people, and I've felt this before, where it's like you don't want to be a burden to other people.
yeah,
But then you ask, like, if you're the person who's saying that, it's like, well, you don't mind carrying the burdens of other people.
Yeah.
So it's like,
right,
what
It's
makes
true.
you think they don't want to carry your burdens?
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
I think we just convince ourselves of that. But I think doing it alone also kind of develops like pride, at least I've seen in my own walk. Because it's like, even just as a kid, I feel like I only read my Bible alone, or like just whatever I thought it meant, that's what it meant. And then you kind of like build your own Christianity.
Yeah.
And like you think you're good and this is what this means and all that. And then you start talking to someone who's been studying it for years. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I
That's
was wrong the
true.
whole
Yeah, you
time.
never
Way
know
off
if
on
your
that one.
theology
Yeah.
is like a little bit awkward until you say like, doesn't everyone think this? And
Yeah.
people are like,
No.
no,
No,
that's
not at
not
all.
what that means.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have never known.
When I was in,
Uh.
it was 8th grade, 9th grade, I started going to actually like the Spanish faith. And there was a youth pastor there, and it was awesome. And it was the first time I feel like I was kind of taken seriously as a believer. I felt like I was, my old church, I was kind of dismissed. I just didn't look my age, and I was super young in middle school. And it was the first person I felt like really, I don't know, just kind of believed that there was a call in my life, separate from my mom and my family. And it was awesome. And I started going. There was a Thursday night like Bible study I would go to. Loved it. It was great. It was awesome. I was growing. Taught me how to like just really start praying for people, evangelize, all the things. And then halfway through 9th grade, he left. And he left. Some of the leaders tried to kind of take over and help. And then it just kind of didn't work out. So basically like our whole youth group fell apart. At that point, a lot of people just started going to different churches. I tried to stick it at Spanish faith, and it was weird because the service was so late. And so then I started coming to English faith. And I would go first service in the morning and I would just sit there. It's like 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. And I didn't have a youth pastor. I didn't have a youth group. I didn't have anyone. Like, I loved God and I was doing it alone. And it wasn't like I was doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
There was a youth group I could go to. I didn't really like the youth pastor at the time. And I was like, I was fine doing it on my own. But eventually, once Pastor Johnny actually came, then I started going to youth and started being a part, and I started growing again. I realized that time, not only was I alone, but I never developed my gifts. So like even now, like when I started going on mission trips and started doing fine arts stuff and doing whatever, my gifts started developing, and they could only be developed in community. Because they could only be like, hey, you know what, this is in you, you should try this, or you should try that, or you should do this. And I realized that like my whole high school career, I didn't develop anything. So even now, I think that's why I have such a passion to be like, sing, dance, talk, go to like do all the things.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I didn't get a chance to do that. And like I said, and it wasn't even on purpose, but I think sometimes we, even and it's easier with students, but even as adults, we sit back and we don't realize, man, we have love to give, we have ideas to give, we have passion, we can work in nursery, we can serve, and that can only be done with the church. You know, and it also it's there's so many people I feel like that are lacking something in them because they're not in community.
That's true.
You know?
I love that. And I think there's so many people who I think want to just tough it alone because they have like this individualistic kind of outlook on life where they're like, I want to do it on my own. Because I remember I was counseling a guy and he was counseling, I was just meeting with him and he was saying, I feel like God's called me to kind of be like a lone wolf. And I said, that's not God.
That's not God.
And he was offended by it. He was like, no, I really feel like, and I said, I'm sorry, man, that's not how God works.
How many people are like that?
But I feel like there's almost a bit of pride about it. That's like, I want to do it.
It's like, I can do it.
So it's almost got like this hint of arrogance to it, which to be like, who knows? They might have church hurt where they're like, I don't want to be in the church because the church has hurt me before. And we can talk about that. But as far as like the whole idea of like doing it on your own, like you're, as a Christian, you are always called to be part of God's family and always called to be part of a godly community. And that's why the church, local churches are everywhere because you can find the expression that works for you. Do you know what I mean?
That's
and the culture that works for you.
I do think there's an anointing entrepreneurial spirit on this generation. I do think it's that, but I do think the enemy comes in and he tries to rob it and go, oh yeah, you're a lone wolf. Oh no, you can only do it on your own. Because I do think there are ideas and concepts that are there, like, wow, you know, that God-given, but the enemy comes in and robs, like, okay, well then you don't need people. You're on your own. I'm like, no. Like, it doesn't really work that way. There's a tension that you can balance. Like, I have this idea, I need to pursue it, but I still need the community and the backbone.
It's
to
almost
keep going.
become like a flex of like, I did it on my own. Like,
that is a flex. Like people, when they become successful, they're like, and I did it on my own, and the haters didn't.
From
whatever.
nothing.
That's not reality, though.
Which is not even usually true.
That's just like, no, there's people who help you. How do you know when a group or a person is safe to be vulnerable with? Because I think that sometimes is people's predicament. They're like, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to connect with.
I think we do. Like we all carry like whatever the last relational hurt was into like a new group or into a new church even. But I think it's like if people are also being vulnerable, you know, it's a little bit like one person has to start it.
That's true.
So I guess if you're going to take like the observer seat, like people that are generally vulnerable, and again, not like my life's falling apart, but just letting you know what's up and what they did last weekend. And, you know, like vulnerability is really just a daily, like casual thing. And if every story is like, I was a situation and then we had a situation and then you're like, all right, you said nothing, you know, like that is a little bit maybe, I don't know if vulnerability is a thing in this group, but also then how they speak of others. Like a person who's safe is vulnerable about their own life and they'll tell you things about their life, but they will also have discretion when talking of others.
So that's good.
For sure. I mean, I do think in a sense, you never really know. Like 100%, you don't know 100% that someone's going to be safe. And it's because people are just not perfect. But but I don't think that's a reason to not be vulnerable, because I think that God uses vulnerability no matter how that person responds. Like, I think if you're vulnerable with someone and they abuse it, then maybe don't be vulnerable with them again.
Yeah.
Like, you can just learn from that. But I don't know, I think what Paul talks about, boasting in our weakness, and how like Christ's power rests in us when we do that.
Yeah.
So it's like that's not dependent on the person's response. Like, there's something like kind of unlocked in you when you say really what's going on inside.
Yeah. I love what Eugene Peterson talks about. And he says this one line. He says, when it comes to like godly community, he says, find where you fit in and do what you're good at. And so I think it's just as simple sometimes as being like, just find the people that you love and love you. And that's not going to be everyone and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then just do what you're passionate about and do what you're good at and play your part in the body. And so I think sometimes we can overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
But on the vulnerability side of it, I was listening to a psychologist the other day, and she was saying how the people who are more closed off and are like a bit more, won't open up to people. They'll develop more issues later on in life than the person who is too vulnerable and too open,
sharing their business,
and they'll
with everyone.
experience hurt. They do better than the one that's really shut off. And I found that surprising. I was like, oh, okay. So, because even as like with kids, you kind of have to, they're kind of like my son Judah is such a sweet kid. And sometimes he's like, oh, that kid was mean to me. And there's part of me that's kind of like, bud, you kind of got to sometimes not. But then I'm like, actually, he's an open spirit. He wants to be kind to everyone. And he thinks everyone's going to be his best friend. And that will actually, I know, right? But that'll actually help him later in life, because it's more damaging to get that hard heart rather than just have the heart that gets hurt but bounces back really quick. Do you know what I mean?
I guess that it sounds surprising on its face, but then it's not, because what you're actually doing is building resilience. Like, as you are vulnerable and you keep being vulnerable, obviously you're going to get hurt and there might be betrayal and there might be whatever. But the problem is then if at some point you stop, then there's all of this hurt that's just you're dealing with versus, you basically learn how to, I like what you said, like you don't wait till the perfect situation, which I think is what we do nowadays. Like that's why people hire professionals to talk to, right? Instead of talking to their friends, which like hire a professional, but sometimes those counselors are your only friend, like the only person who knows you, and you're paying them, so I do think it's that it's kind of letting yourself go through the refining process of like God knew the church was going to be messy, and he knew that people were going to be mean sometimes, and so calling us to repeatedly go back and love the church, it also is going to help us, because also we are sometimes not safe people. Like no one is safe 100% of the time. Even if, if you tell me, like, like maybe 90% of the time I'm good, but if I'm having a bad, like you just never know, or, oh my gosh, I slipped. Oops, I didn't, everyone has that, including us.
Well, sometimes it's as simple as you just didn't have the reaction they wanted.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. You just cannot do it perfectly.
And you might go, that sounds really tough. And they're like, well, I expected you to cry. Or
you talk to people and then you do give them like a harsher correction, you know, and they're like, well, I didn't want you to say that. And you're like, well, here we are, so
I said it.
You can't wait for perfection, but you need to be wise, but you also need to just do it.
What do you guys think about, like, I feel like there's, like, as a leader or like a pastor or someone where there's people that you're trying to influence looking up to you, like, does vulnerability look different in that sense? Or what do you guys think?
From like
is there,
people you're trying
to lead. For example, like leading students, maybe I'm not going to say certain things that I would say to my friends. I don't know what, I guess my thoughts is like, sometimes you don't want to, things that you're walking through, you want to share things that you're actively working on, or things that there's like kind of resolve to sometimes. I don't know, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think being a leader is automatic accountability, because you want to lead from transparency. So I think partially, I've always say, like, as a leader, I don't ever want to be doing something in secret that if a student
Yeah.
did ask me about, I would have to then lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
True, yeah.
that whole idea of like what anyone could ask me at any point about my devotional life, about my marriage, about my family, about
Yes.
the TV shows that I do watch,
Yes.
And so like, I think that is automatic accountability of like, let me not do this because I live in community and I want to be able to lead with my private life. But I also think, you probably have people in your corner that are your equals that you're walking through things with and being honest with. So then when a student is talking to you, you don't have to be like, yeah, everything's great, my life's perfect. But if you're having a marriage issue, you're already talking to friends about it. So then as a, you go, yeah, I'm, pray for me, I'm walking through stuff, but or if you want to, like, not lying, I guess. But
sure.
if you
That's
need
really
that
good.
peer-to-peer, I'm already talking to someone about this, so I'm not lying when someone asks me this question, but I'm also, you're not the person I'm going to trauma dump on.
Right.
Like,
I guess
all,
that's what I mean.
at
It's
all.
like how you present that information.
Very
is
minimal.
probably different.
And probably from
depending.
the perspective of like Jesus died on the cross and everything's gonna be fine. Like still sharing trials in a framed in like I'm overcoming this, I'm getting victory in certain areas, and with discretion, because even if everything you're doing is fine and above board, it's still like it is a weight. Anytime you share something with someone, you're putting a weight on them. So anyone you're leading, you want to share in a way that does not put any weight on them. Like, and they should not be concerned for you, and they should not be burdened by what you're going through, but you shouldn't hide.
I think that's important, even just like for single parents sometimes.
That's really good.
Or whatever, not single parents sometimes too, to be careful how much you actually like. I think, nowadays it's like, no, we're not parent-child, we're friends. We can share, we can talk about anything. And it's like, actually, no, like parents are here, kids are here. And parents shouldn't share everything with their kid. Like they don't need to, they shouldn't trauma dump. That's not their person. And I think sometimes parents do that and they feel the release, so they don't feel like they need the community from something else.
That's good.
And it's like, no, like that's what we have, different small groups, different connections. Like, no, you're going through a hard day, talk to a leader, a pastor, someone. So it doesn't mean you're lying to your child, but there's just some things that their little heart, their little brain cannot comprehend. And you don't want them to have that burden to be like, I have to be there for mommy. I have to be there for daddy. And it's not the way the Lord created that relationship. Children and students should feel safe at home and secure. And they could feel that. But sometimes parents have to just kind of watch what they share with their kids.
That's true.
No, I fully agree with that. I also think, I think that's actually a really good analogy way to put it, where it's kind of like you wouldn't lie to your kids about certain situations, but my kids don't need to know about the finances of the household.
They don't.
Do you know what I mean? Like
that's a big one.
You would never want kids to be like, do we have enough money for groceries today? Like, you're like, we wouldn't lie to you, but that's not something an 8-year-old needs to have in their brain.
You don't need.
And so those same dynamics, I think, then can apply in ministry as well. Where if the relationship is like, hey, I'm leading 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds, you don't want to be sharing them stuff that's going to trip up their faith. And it's not saying what you said was wrong or
they're
whatever.
generally just too young and in their minds.
It's about spiritual maturity. It's kind of like you're not ready to share it, but when they turn into 19 and 20-year-olds and
you'll grow up and realize.
You'll have a very different relationship with them.
I feel like boundaries are boundaries, and if you cross boundaries that you're not supposed to cross, it could lead to crossing other boundaries and other boundaries and other boundaries and other boundaries. And
for sure.
You end up getting yourself in situations that are just not healthy. I mean, and it's a myriad of crossing boundaries.
I think that, I said it made me laugh, so that makes my kids, we always sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace or give stuff away because they have too much stuff. So then they will ask us like, what are we selling this for? And almost like, are we okay? Do we need money? And I'm like, no, you guys need less stuff. That's what you need. So they always will be like, where's my car? Did you sell it?
So funny.
Yes, I did.
That's
but
so
I do think it's not just an age thing, though. It is if you lead a group or you lead, if you lead something and you're thinking that you're leading people that are behind you in some way, like you're a couple steps ahead in something, it's never, and then you can tell because a lot of that becomes unhealthy immediately if you're oversharing to someone you're leading. But I get what you say about like single parents or people that like they're so overwhelmed they don't feel like they have time for any community.
Yeah.
But when you don't have time for any community, you do trauma dump on someone.
Yeah.
Someone.
And people do that in their marriages as well.
Oh yeah.
They can,
oh yeah.
you know, husband can come home from work or
Yes.
wife come home from work, and it's just like
all
an
on them.
explosion and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And you're like, okay, we're not talking about being dishonest or holding things back,
Right.
but you have friends in your life to talk
Right.
about. Like I've driven home before, and there have been people who have called me and they've just talked for 40 minutes
Yeah.
and been
Yeah.
like, you're not going to believe what happened. This happened, this happened.
Yeah.
And I love that they tell me that
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I'm like, great, now you can just go home and be like,
Yes. Yeah.
hey, love, how was your day? And all this
Yes.
kind of stuff.
That's
And
important. Yeah. Your spouse can't be the only person you talk to either because
Yeah, it's good.
they
That is
can't
so
hold their
good.
weight
it
and your
stresses
weight.
them out. And
Yeah.
it's because then they feel like they've got to help you. And you're like,
And
no, I was
fix
just
it.
venting
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How has being part of a community helped you understand God better?
I think when people just show you like grace and forgiveness, like
Yeah.
if you've ever really wronged someone or really missed the mark with someone
Mm-hmm.
and you have to take it to them and you have to say sorry or you have to confess something, it's the scariest, worst feeling ever. But like when you see the grace given
Yeah.
and you feel mercy
That's
and
good.
you are embraced, I'm like, I just like, it's hard to really understand that part of God for me, like getting, because I don't know, like not like I was perfect. I didn't need salvation. But I, you know, like I never was like, and then I was hooked on this and then God saved me. I was just like a normal girl and I got
Yeah.
saved, you know? So sometimes understanding like the immense mercy and grace of God is hard. But then when I see it in people given to other people, I'm like, oh, and like
Yeah.
that's just a whisper of what God gives to us. So
Yeah.
that specific part for me that you only find in community is special.
Yeah. Yes. And I think like the image of God it's reflected the most clear through
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, all of my relationships, I feel like I see and understand different parts of God that maybe if I was living in isolation, I wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just now being a father, it's like I understand God as a father more.
Yeah.
Understand God more as the husband to his bride
Yeah.
more. Now that I'm married, I understand God as a friend when I interact with my friends. Like, and just which makes sense because like in the very beginning, like God didn't really like when he was talking about mankind being in his image, it was when Adam and Eve were formed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Adam wasn't created in God's image.
Yeah.
It was male and female.
Yeah.
And it also says, let us create, you know, them
Yeah.
in our image. So it's like we were even created from
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
So I think that like that's a good way to see the character of God is through a community
Yeah.
of different people.
I think, I don't know about you guys, but I've never had got like before an encouraging word from like God.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like I've never like emceed or preached and God's
Yeah.
been like, you nailed that one.
Great job.
But
yeah, like a letter.
high five.
People
Yeah.
always do.
Yeah.
People always come up to you after, and like Pastor Marcos will come up to me or
Yeah.
something like that and be like, hey, you nailed that. This
Right.
spot was really good, or whatever it is. So I think for me, I'm like, so much of the gifts and the encouragement and all the stuff that we get from God, it comes through his people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it only comes through his people when they are walking in step with the Spirit.
Yeah.
They've got the fruit of the Spirit in their lives. So when they've got love, joy, peace,
Yeah.
patience, and kindness,
Yeah.
the body of Christ is like this. The Spirit of God is working. And so if Jake does something at, mainstream middle and, he walks off, the teenagers might not go up to him and say the most encouraging things,
They
but
do.
I can.
No.
Which I'm
Every
sure
time they do.
They just
Yeah,
applaud. They don't stop.
Standing ovation.
They bow down.
All the way to the car. They're just like, Pastor Jim. And so I can do that, and I can be the
Right.
vessel of
Yeah.
that
And you
godly
do.
encouragement.
Yeah.
And so I also think the other one is the community of God is actually where we see a lot of God's providence, a lot of his
Yeah.
providing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because
True.
I don't know, think stuff falls from the sky anymore. Like if you need a bill paid, money doesn't usually fall out of the
Someone
sky or
pays,
something like that. You'll either get like a check in the mail or something like that. And so, but then this also comes back to the vulnerability part. If you're not vulnerable with a godly
Mhm.
community, people
Right.
can't step
Yeah.
in and be
Yeah.
part of it. And so
Yeah.
when Judah was born, and I'll share this quick, but when Judah was born, he had some health issues. Actually had really significant ones. And one of them was like he was never going to walk.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
It
Yeah,
was
like
like
significant. Yeah.
very significant, literally never going to walk. And when he was about a month old, one of his kidneys wasn't working.
My
And so we were,
gosh.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's like
So-
so
Honestly,
sad.
just poor little Judah's face right now.
He's the
Gosh.
best. And so we were on stage at our church and
Yeah.
we were praying for his kidney because we did not want to do a surgery. So there we are. And after the service, and that was vulnerable for us because it's like,
course,
yeah.
anyway. And so after it, a woman came up to me and said, "Oh, there's other things wrong with that child, isn't there?" And I was like,
Like, how
"What do
dare
you
you?"
mean?" And she goes,
Yeah.
"I can tell by the way you're holding him, there's something wrong with him." And we said, "Yeah, he has this muscle deficiency problem where
Yeah.
doctors don't think he'll be able to walk or whatever." And then she says, "Well, I'm actually an infant physical therapist."
Stop.
That.
And then it turned out she's like top 3 in Australia. And
Wow.
then she said, "I will work with your son for free until he
Yeah.
walks.
Stop.
Not to
Wow.
see if he walks, until he walks."
Right.
Yeah.
She came, her name was Jenny. She was so lovely. She came around our house 3 times a week for 12
Oh my
months.
gosh.
3 times a week for 12 months. She would sit and have coffee with Yana. "How are you doing?" Just encourage her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, everyone knows, like, Judah can skateboard. He
Yeah,
knows
he's
jujitsu.
the
I
most
believe
athletic kid.
that.
Yeah.
But, well, I say that to say that so much of what God does in our lives is
Mhm.
through the
people.
body.
Yeah.
And so for us as people, we have to be open and ready to bless people. But then on
Yeah.
the flip side, you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And you got to say, here's what I'm struggling with, here's what we're dealing with, and allow people then to,
Yeah.
because that's the beauty of God's family. It's like
Yeah.
a bunch of people lifting each other
That's
up
so
and
good.
blessing each other. And
Yeah.
so it's twofold.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That
I,
is true.
That's good.
With me, there was a coordinator. She was an intern. It was a coordinator that I had that honestly taught me the most about giving. This
Yeah.
person was Evie. She was the most generous person. She
Yeah.
literally would give the shirt off her back, like just all the time, giving.
Yeah.
And her story was her and her family. There's like 7 kids, and I remember her story. The reason that they give so much is because whenever their dad lost their job, they were actually living as a mechanic. He was living out of the shop. Like Pastor Carl would like bring them groceries. There was
Oh.
a Christmas Eve. Pastor Carl showed up with presents for everybody and a tree, and they were living out of his shop for all 7 kids. So all these kids, I've seen them go through the ministry. Most of them are business owners now, and they believe
Wow.
in tithing and giving so much. And
Yeah.
watching her and how she gave and how she connected, like it challenged me to give.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how they were. And then I also know I'm like, wow, they were never forsaken, never in need.
Yeah.
Just always had it. And I would see how she would connect. And I'm like, okay, I need to give. It's not just the type, but also just the generous spirit with
Yeah.
people. And I'm like, she taught me how to give and how to be a
Yeah.
better giver and to
Yeah.
constantly work on that.
Yeah.
I don't think,
Yeah.
and it was just a person, just someone that worked for me. And I'm like, man, how she is just knowing where her help comes from. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to be like that.
Yeah.
And I just learned. I'm like
Yeah.
literally watching her. She's like the best. Her whole family's the
Yeah.
best.
Amazing.
Great.
I just keep picturing Judah with his little skateboard, the little clip that we show in the video, and he's
Oh,
all
yeah.
happy.
Uh,
When was a time you were vulnerable with someone and it completely changed your perspective? Like, give me an instance.
Oh, yeah. When I first had Elisha, it was just like the trenches, like the absolute trenches. And I had never thought about what being a mom was like. I figured babies just sleep. Like I just had no research, like whatever. And so I was like, what is this? And so, yeah, it was probably weeks or maybe a couple months. It's very blurry. But then a friend texted me who had a baby like 3 months earlier. And like in her text, it was like, whatever language she used was kind of this like, we're in it. Like, I know what you're going through kind of thing, but while being positive. Anyway, so she was just like, just want to check in, see how it's going, something. And then like, I definitely was going to just text her back like, it's good. We love
Yeah.
the baby snuggles, little
Yeah.
whatever. But I was just a shell of a person. So I was like, honestly, it's super hard, but thank you for checking on whatever. And that like exploded into like so much help for me, like mentally. Cause then
Yeah.
part of it was that I felt bad that it was hard. Cause I'm like, isn't having a baby supposed to be like perfect or whatever?
Yeah.
And so she started being like, oh, it's hard. This, and this. And then I was like, yeah, this, and this. And so like, we just went back and forth for a while. And I had like, honestly, probably not even texted or talked to anyone outside of my house for a couple weeks. And she was the first person because I felt like she got it.
Wow.
And then she, zero judgment. And then, yeah, that was kind of the beginning of like coming out of that season of just very, very significant like baby blues. And it was like just weird because like I could have just texted her back like a surface level thing and it would have only hurt me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess she could have gone and judged my parenthood, you know, like whatever the risk was of being honest. But yeah, I didn't. And I was so glad because it was, that season was so hard. And I was like, wait, why am I just like going through this by myself?
Yeah.
It's so crazy how one little conversation can I mean, not that everything is perfect, but I don't know. It just kind of, it makes you be like, okay, I can do this.
Really,
one more day.
up until then, I really had thought like, this is, I'm a one of one. Like this is it. It's only hard for me to have a newborn.
Meanwhile,
and
30 children later,
right? It's still hard. Yeah, but
yeah. I feel like parenthood is like a season where vulnerability is like super needed. I mean, every season, but yeah, I definitely experienced that too. But I think scenario for me, I grew up kind of similar as far as like I didn't have a youth group. I went to really small, not until like later high school did I have a youth group. But so I didn't have a youth group, didn't really have like other like-minded believers my age, went to a public school.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was literally the only Christian in the whole school. Turns out there were some more like closet Christians, but I found a friend who was a pretty devout believer. And like all growing up, I struggled like secret sin, pornography. Parents didn't know, nobody knew. And so I remember like talking to this friend and kind of we were both like talking in code. As far, I don't know, you know the stuff. Working in youth ministry, it's like the videos you watch or like the lustful thoughts. And then at one point, I just like opened up and just told him, hey, like I'm severely addicted to pornography.
Wow.
And then he said the same thing. And it was just weird because obviously, you know, I was in a public school, so I knew everyone there did and struggled with things, but they weren't Christians. So it was weird to see another Christian walking through something.
Yeah.
And like, it just, like that started a whole journey for me of like, oh, wow, I'm not alone. Like, I don't have to hide this. Like, I can really seek counsel through this. And you know, I still talk to that friend every day. It's just about life. I mean, he's a dad now too. Like, and so that accountability, I really don't know where I would be if that vulnerability didn't start in middle school.
So much power in that, in the conversation. I don't even know how to explain it, and it's hard to because you just feel so weird. You feel so awkward. You feel ashamed. You feel whatever. And the minute which you just confess it, there's just a magic to it. Which the Bible does say, you know, like believe in your heart, confess with your mouth. There's something to it.
Healed.
But you put it out there, and it just doesn't give the enemy power, or I don't know what it is, and it's just kind of the beginning of everything. You know?
It's so in James 5 it says, confess your sins to one another and you'll be healed. And it's like, what is it about human nature that when we talk about things and we just kind of like, it's not even just like expose yourself, but it's kind of like just share what you're struggling with and be vulnerable. There's a weird Holy Spirit healing bonding moment that can happen. And I don't know whether it's just as we do it, our pride is slowly dying. Like maybe that's what it is simply. But there's just something powerful about it. And so I've always found that for me, I've always just kind of tried to be the type of person where I'm like, okay, I never want to be the type of person that comes across like I've got it all together.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, and because I know there is a way of leadership and there is a way of leading where you're like, have it all together. Be that person where I'm just like, I just can't fake it that good. Like I am the person where I'm like, I don't like making decisions by myself. Like I love input. If I have to decide something, I want 10 people's opinions on it. Like I really do, because I love it. Because I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? And so for me, and that's vulnerable because oftentimes we want to be like, no, be the person that has like the secret genius. I'm like, I don't have it. No, I'm doing
It's not me.
Like, so I love like, and so for me, even in my daily, like even work here, anytime there's little decisions or big things to be made, I will always pop into other people's office and be like, here's what I'm thinking, what do you think? Here's what I'm thinking, what do you think? And I know that's very small vulnerability, But it's just those little
But it
things where
is,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Still vulnerable.
I always want to invite people into my struggle and be
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
here's what I'm
But
thinking.
even like whenever you've come into like creative team meetings and you're like, hey,
I was
what do you
looking
think?
for you yesterday
It's so dumb. Oh,
to
you should
ask
tell
you
me.
something.
It's dumb, but it's not dumb, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you being like, hey, what do you guys think about that? I know with the meetings we've had, that's helped me be more comfortable around you.
Yeah.
And it's helped our relationship
Yeah.
become more, just like together and like bond. And even I think it's going to help us make better decisions as pastors of this ministry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like little
100%.
things like that it's like, oh, let me just ask, or you don't mind giving your input. I don't mind sharing. What about this or this or this?
Yeah.
It's like no shame. I mean, obviously we're not talking about like, like secret sin, but it's like, oh, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's helped us bond.
But it's a way of caring as well.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I say to you, hey, what do you think? Like option A, B, or C, or D. If you go, yeah, do whatever you want. What I hear is like, I don't really care about
Yeah.
the ministry
I
or
don't care
you.
about you at all.
But if someone goes,
Yeah.
well, I love A, but I think B could work as well. I'm like, you genuinely care. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It
Like, I
does.
appreciate
It does
that.
help the
Yeah.
bonding process.
It's
yeah.
part of it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Why do you? I mean, I kind of touched on it a little bit, but why do you guys think it's so hard to be open and real with people about your spiritual walk, or I guess just with anything? Like, why is it so hard?
I think it's hard
Yeah.
because spiritual walk is like so heavy. Like I think it's hard because we're not vulnerable about like little random things.
Okay.
Like it really does start with just, hey, do you like what necklace is better?
Yeah.
I'm selling necklaces. Like I don't know. It starts like I'm a necklace sales
Is it a
girl.
business?
No wonder Elisha's like,
necklace
"Oh, you're
girly."
okay. She's
I know.
selling
She's like, are
everything.
you starting a business?
Selling your jewelry.
Wow,
It's for
I
the
could
rest.
not sell necklaces. I don't know about them, but it does start in little like even chit chat or just even small talk about life or at work and your week, like those little
Knick-knack-knacks.
things kind of that we like Nick at night. Yeah.
Knick-knack.
I guess those things that maybe have gone away as technology has increased.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's where, because like you just to talk to a stranger now is like is dangerous. Like someone's weird
Yeah.
now if they say hi in a grocery store, but it used to be normal.
Yeah.
Like you're like, why was that guy like interested in my day? And you're like, I don't know, he's probably dangerous.
Yeah.
Like that's what we think. And so I think
Yeah.
because we don't have the little vulnerabilities and we're just raised to not have them,
Yeah.
and we're very performative more than ever, like just kids, and they need to be professional soccer players from 3 on and have like everything we have in
Yeah.
our society is so performative and based on image that of course it translates to the big thing. You're like, I'm definitely not going to be honest about the big.
The big
I've
things,
never
yeah.
prayed before in my life, and I've gone to
Yeah.
this church for 5 years. Definitely not going to tell someone that. I won't even tell them that my dad is sick, So
Yeah.
I think it's that we don't start with the small, so it never really turns into big
That's good.
stuff.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's a couple of thoughts. I think one is the reason that we're not super open with our spiritual walk is because I think for the most part, walking is pretty basic. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like walking is pretty boring
Mm-hmm.
just to go walking. And so sometimes I feel like we're not super open with our spiritual walk because we feel like we have to have something really
Yeah,
exciting
until we
to
have
say.
something to like
Yeah.
show off.
So if someone's like, what's
right.
God been doing in your life? You're like, well, I prayed for a guy and his arm grew back. Do you know what I mean? Like,
You're waiting for that
you're like,
story.
"Oh,
Yeah.
all right, the Holy Spirit's moving. Where if you
Yeah.
just say to someone, yeah, I really enjoy my devotional in the morning.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. It's the same as last week. I'm like,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a spiritual walk
So
can be
wild.
the big, explosive,
Yeah.
exciting things, but it's also the super mundane things
Yeah.
Yeah.
where I'm just like, yeah, I get up super early in the morning and I read and pray, and sometimes I don't even know what I read
Consistency, yeah.
because it was
Right.
4:30. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't have to be this big, exciting stuff.
Mhm.
And then the other reason I think it's hard to be spiritually vulnerable is because I think if you're on the other side of someone sharing, oftentimes they adopt like this teacher where I'm like, well, let me quickly John
Yeah.
Maxwell your
Fix
life
it,
for you.
fix it really
Yeah.
But it's
quick.
like, or you could just listen and nod.
Yeah.
And be
Yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
cool. Where they're
Yeah.
kind of like, well, hold on. Have you tried these 3 things? It's like,
We try to fix it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, sometimes, which we probably do that more as men, like when
Yeah.
someone presents
Yeah,
something to
you
us,
do,
we're like,
yeah.
I'll fix your problem for you. I'll nail it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so,
Give me a
Knick-knack.
screwdriver.
you need knick-knack.
I'll give you a necklace.
Date night, sleepless in Seattle, you'll be fine. So I just think it's those things where it's kind of like, as the
Yeah.
recipient, you just have to be like, yeah, just share
Yeah.
it. But then also as Christians, I'm like, I love the mundane. Like I love the habits. I
Yeah.
love just the steady road with God.
good.
I used to have a Bible college lecturer who used to call it in Galatians where Paul writes about keeping in step with the Spirit, my lecturer used to call it just plod with God. And he used to plod around the room and he's like, look how boring plodding is. Do you know what I mean? It's like the slowest, most boring walk, but it's like, yeah, do you know what? I want my life with Jesus to be like that. I just want to plod with God.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't want to be always seeking the mountaintops and desperate in the valleys. You know, those times will come, but I just want that consistency where I'm just like, just plod with God.
Yeah.
I'm just
I don't know how to plod.
Yeah, I
plod
got
is
the
like-
context clues for plod.
You guys
but I
don't
didn't-
have plod?
No.
We don't have plod.
We have galloping, trotting.
Trot. Trot's probably a little faster.
Yeah, trot is like
Is
a
a
jog.
plod, is
Plod
plod like
is
this?
like
Come on, can you stand up and show us a quick plod?
A gait.
A plod?
Plod away.
Yeah, a little less shoulders, but that's a plod.
It's the
Like a
it's like
waddle.
a penguin. It's a waddle.
Well, a
Waddle.
plod
It's a
is like
waddle.
a heavy step.
Waddle, baby, waddle.
heavy step.
God.
Wobble. My gosh. All right, we gotta cut this part out, guys.
No, it's awesome. A plod is like a heavy walk.
Okay.
Oh, like
Yeah, you plod.
like that.
Yeah.
Trotting.
Yeah.
Trot.
So there's like walking, and then there's like soft walking, like tippy
Okay.
toes.
Yeah.
Next
A
next
plod
time,
is like
walking.
next time you're on the stage in Main Sync, I need you to plod.
Plod
plod
away.
is-
I think it's like it's
Plod
like a
to
kid,
the
like a
front.
kid that's mad they have to go do a chore,
That's
like just
not-
like heavy feet and like
Yeah.
that.
Hopping.
I'm gonna look it up.
yeah.
Google,
Look it up, guys.
not chat.
Plod with God.
Plodding with God. That's my
I like that.
That's
That's
my
gonna be
word
the
for the
name of
year.
your first book.
Plod.
plod with God.
Yeah, I like
And
it.
it already
Plod.
rhymes.
It won't sell in America though.
That's actually fire.
Not
I
sure.
love
Wouldn't
that.
It
sell in
rhymes
America.
though, so it'll
Australia,
it'll work.
number one.
Sell it abroad.
Number one.
I feel like
Plod with
sometimes
God.
we're afraid to talk because we're afraid. I mean, we're just ashamed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think that I think we're afraid of the consequences, but we're also afraid to let someone down.
Yeah.
That I
True,
feel
yeah.
like as believers, and this is for real. I've had opportunities. Someone sit across from me and just be like, finally, like deepest, darkest sin, putting it out there.
Yeah.
And when they've done that, like, I don't know, honestly, like I am humbled
Yeah.
that they
Yeah, you are.
finally put it out
Yeah.
there. And then I feel like I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And I am moved. And if anything, most of the time, I trust that person more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's hard to
100%.
explain.
No,
'Cause
that's
I'm like,
true.
Yeah.
yo, you've told me all this.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, there's going to be consequences,
Yeah.
but I want to give you more. I don't know. Like, I just,
Yeah.
there's nothing you're
Trust
hiding
those
from me
people.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to explain unless you're in that position.
Yeah.
But I don't ever feel, I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually I'm humbled and I trust that person more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
never like,
For sure.
I don't know. I just do. And I don't know. Like, I want to help more. I want to be more involved. I want to whenever it's just that kind of deep. And I think the enemy lies to people
Yeah.
and go, no, keep it hidden, keep it secret, keep it whatever. And I'm like, no, actually, like that builds. I don't know,
Right.
because I'm like, well, if they shared this, they're gonna tell me this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think that's like what you're saying is the truth. If we're being like down to the letter of the law, like to not be vulnerable is to lie. Like you know,
Yeah.
you're either vulnerability is
Yeah.
just honesty. So I think it's that if someone's being really vulnerable and confessing a bunch of stuff, they're actually being truthful
Yeah.
instead of someone. Really, the opposite of that would
Yeah.
just kind of be lying.
Lying,
Obviously, people be like, "It's not your business," and it's not what. But
Yeah.
it is still like, yeah, but you're still making up something that's not totally true, and you're telling me it. So
For sure.
I do think that, and I've sat across from people. We probably all have sat across from a lot of people, but like,
only plotting.
yeah, just plotting with them. Where it's kind of like, why didn't you tell me? Or like, like
Yeah.
a lot. Honestly, very sad. But like a lot of times, people walk away from the faith. They're like, they tell you all this stuff that they've never told you, and I'm always like, why didn't you tell me? Like we could have just walked out, whatever. And sometimes it's like, because I thought you were going to be mad. I thought you were going to judge me. I thought everyone's going to be
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
So then I always like to tell them back and be like, so you judged me before I had the chance to judge you. Because
Yeah.
like the only one who judged in this situation is actually you judging me. And I think when
Yeah.
we don't want to be vulnerable with someone, it's because we're actually prejudging them
Yeah.
that they're going to
Their
judge
response.
us. You know,
Yeah.
and so it's like we hate judging, but we're doing it. And that's
Yeah.
why this person's not worthy to hear my
Yeah.
stuff because
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can have their reasons for that, like past
Right,
hurt
right,
or whatever
of
it is.
course.
But
sure.
as leaders, when someone is like open and honest and upfront, it is that thing where it's like, oh,
Yes.
now because you've been open and vulnerable with me, it's like I can trust you
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff. And so I recently met with a guy about joining kind of the men's ministry team, and he was like, hey, I need to meet with you first. And he just shared a bunch of sins that he was struggling with.
Yeah.
And I don't think he thought that was going to cancel him out, but he was like, I just have to be honest with you. And you're right. When someone does that, it humbles you
Yes.
just to be like, well, thank you for sharing. And yeah, of course, I still believe in you. And
Yeah.
because it's almost like, isn't that what God's looking for in all of us?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to come to him and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm broken.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I need you.
You
Right.
just
Yeah.
also
Do you know what I
know
mean?
if anything else comes up, they're going to tell you right away because they already
They
told you.
told you the
'Cause they
worst
have a
thing.
habit
Yeah.
of
Or if they're struggling, they'll be
They're going to
like,
go, hey, this is
I'm
what's
struggling.
up. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know that. And I'm like, I don't know. It's so weird to explain unless you're actually in that situation. And I'm like,
Because
Yeah.
you know the alternative of the leader that's a bit cagey. And when they
Yeah.
talk, you're like,
Yeah.
why do I feel like you're lying to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're like,
And no one wants that leader. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, like
Where
the
it's like-
perfect leader. Like, I don't know. I was reading the Awe of God. John Bevere talks about it in one of the chapters.
mhm.
He's like, I never, just in any context, I never promote a leader that's
Yeah.
like perfect,
Who has never failed.
who's
or
never
whatever,
failed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no one's perfect.
Yeah, there's
Right.
something going
There's
on there.
Yeah, so there's
yeah, right.
something
Yeah.
behind the scenes that they're not telling me usually, or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but I think like
That's super
I think we
interesting.
don't want to be vulnerable because we don't want to let other people down, but also like I don't think we want to let ourselves down.
no, that's good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think when we say it, then it becomes real,
Yeah.
Right.
and we'd rather just kind of act like it's
If we
not there.
don't say it,
Like
yeah.
it's just the hidden thing that's not true. But then we say it, it's like, well, it's out there.
That's
Yeah.
why
We have
like
to do
sometimes
some-
we say it
and
and
now we
then
have to do
immediately
something
start
about it.
crying. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and then we got to fight. And then you like and
Yeah.
then but for months you were not feeling anything because you
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
kinda
fine.
hard
That's
bringing it
true,
away.
Once
yeah.
it comes out of your mouth, it's like floodgates, you know.
And then there's accountability because you have to
Yep.
act on it
Yeah.
now.
That's kind of
So-
my last question. What role does accountability play in your life as a seeker?
I think for me, I think it's great to have accountability with people. Like, I think that's really helpful. But for me, I'm accountable to God and I'm accountable to myself. So I keep my habits like every day. And so my routine is like, I'll get up at 4:30 every day,
Yeah.
with the exception of Saturday. But I'll get up at 4:30 every day. I'll have a coffee and I'll read and I'll pray. And then I'll either head off to the gym or do something else. But if I don't do those, my wife doesn't say to me, did you do it this morning? Like all this
Right,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. But I have that accountability with God where I'm like, I didn't meet with the Lord this morning. And it's not like I feel guilty, but if
Mm.
anything, I almost feel like I missed out on the best part of my day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I then pay for that later because
Yeah.
if it builds up over time, usually I'm less patient with the kids and not as joyful and all this kind
For
of stuff.
sure.
And so for me, accountability, and don't get me wrong, I think that comes with maturity because when you're a new believer and a new Christian, you do
You probably
need that
Yeah.
more of
accountability
that.
with one person or a couple of
Yeah.
people or a connect group or something like that. But as you grow in the faith, that accountability, it's really about you and God.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you know you can't hide anything from God. Like
Yeah,
you were
it's
talking
true.
about
Yeah.
before, where you
Yeah.
kind of like, if you don't confess it, it's in your brain. It's like the end of Ecclesiastes is very clear. It's
Right.
like God's bringing everything out.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
not like you're going to get to God and be like, don't look here.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
know what I mean? He looks at everything.
Yeah.
And so once you kind of get that into your spirit, the accountability is like just between you and God, where you're like, no. I want to always be putting God first in my life. And when I don't, I know the effects of it, but it's also like, you almost have like an
Yeah.
affection for God where you're like, I
Yeah.
don't want to miss out on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I
And
think
so-
That's
that
true.
that is a sign of, like you said, spiritual maturity. Because then, like once you get to a place where you have like that accountability with God, it's like you're treating God like He's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you can have accountability with other people, and people can call you out on your junk, but they can't always see your junk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can even have like that fake accountability with other people
Yeah.
Yes.
and be living a certain way, not even behind the scenes, like just all internally,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
head, like your motives, your thoughts. And like when you live that way, you're living like there's no God because like He's not watching.
Yeah.
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 But there are other things though where you do need to take control of accountability, like in
Uh-huh.
your own life. And if you do need help, you do need to bring someone else in
Yeah.
and be
For
like,
sure.
hey, I'm struggling with this or whatever it is. But I remember probably like 6-7 years ago, I remember when it was kind of like Instagram was changing. Remember how Instagram used to be like share photos and it was
Just
kind
a
of fun.
photo.
And then it switched. It kind of
Yeah.
became whatever it did. I recognized, oh, social media is bad for me.
Mhm.
Like I went, all social media is not going to be helpful. I can see
Yeah.
where this is going.
Yeah.
It's not going to be helpful. And so I deleted everything. I didn't delete it off my phone. Like I deleted all my accounts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't exist in social media world.
Yeah.
Because I could just see, and that was an accountability.
Yeah.
And I discussed that with my wife. I'm like, hey, I'm off it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, I don't want to have things in my life where you were saying before, where once a boundary gets crossed,
Yeah.
you're
You know you're way
steamrolling
there.
towards the
Yeah.
next one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ultimately, you're off a cliff.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so it's kind of those ideas where you kind of like, sometimes you will need to have those accountability moments where they will need to lead to action. So not everything is, well, it's just been me and God. Sometimes
for
it
sure.
is with other
Yeah.
people and other decisions you might need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. And I think it's with the people that know you best sometimes that the accountability is there where, you know, I know if something's wrong with a friend of mine, if they're not wanting to hang out as often as we do, you know, or if when all of us are together, the person who's being really quiet or being really busy or being, you know, like you can kind of just see, and then your friends also see that. Like if I'm acting weird, probably the people that know me best are going to know because like no one else will, you know, like if you're just like a kind of a polished person or mature, you know, or whatever, like you're not just going to be all crazy everywhere and like everyone's what's wrong with him, you know, like if you're just a professional person, like I don't know, you're just not going to like lose it like that. If you do, then that's obvious. But I do think having people that know you well who can just kind of be like that step's a little off, like it's something that you can't even, they can almost recognize it in you before you recognize it, or even before you are ready to talk about it. They can be like, what's going on? You're acting a little weird. And so I think that accountability is big because normally if there's something relationally that starts breaking, probably something spiritually that has already been. And so that's a good flag to me. Like I always tell Gio, like when everyone's annoying me, like 100% of the people, 100% of the population, something's wrong spiritually. And so I'll just tell Gio like, and then I, like even just me telling him that, I'm not going to say that to everyone else because it hurt their feelings. Probably hurts his feelings. I'll be like, except you. You know, then I just know I'm like, okay, so I need to like go pray probably.
But I feel like that's when accountability works when you kind of don't need it.
Yeah.
Like whenever, because I think sometimes people are like, well, this person's accountable, so you call me
And no
out,
one
you whatever.
asked
I'm like,
me.
no, it's your responsibility. So
You
like
tell
even
them.
that when you're going, hey
Yeah.
Gio, everyone's annoying me.
Yeah.
And like at that point you're telling on yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So everyone, he knows, okay, well, let's pray and let's hide.
Yeah.
But then also you know at that point. And I think sometimes there is that, like we just need that. There's like built-in accountability, like going to church every week and even us being in prayer in the morning. Like it's a subtle accountability. Like, you know, oh my gosh, like if they're not there, or there's, you know, certain patterns in people's life, if they're, you know, like in a bad mood or like not around, like, you know, I know like just even like Pastor Jess, if I'm like on a Thursday night, if I'm not there by a certain time, Pastor Jess and Sam, they freak out. They're like, something happened.
Yeah.
You know, like car broke down or what, they just know. And it's, and I love it, you know? And I'm like, actually, my car did break down. Can someone help me? Or actually I'm like dying. I'm really sick.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of know. And it's good to have people check up on you and be like, hey, why are you late? Hey, what's going on with this? Or, hey, I didn't see you, or you look down. Like, we should welcome that. And I think too many times we get on the defense, no, just me and God. Like, I'm like, no, just who cares?
Yeah.
You know,
I love the church one where it's like, I feel like for families, accountability, like with people going to church, is like, if you could do something with your families, that's the number one thing. It's be like, and PJ mentioned this when he did the homework series. It's like going to church isn't a choice. It's just what we do.
Yes.
And so I grew up in a home like that where it was
not an option.
We didn't have heaps of accountability on things. Like, do you know what I mean? We were like, I'm part of 5 kids and we were pretty wild. Do you know what I mean? So there wasn't a stack of accountability on something like that. But one thing was, you had to go to church every Sunday with mum and dad to the point where if we had like friends stay over,
they had to come
as well.
Amen.
And still to this day, my parents are in like
some
their
of my
60s.
kids would sneak out. Some of my friends would sneak out in the morning.
So they wouldn't
get in trouble.
So like my parents in their 60s, if they have like relatives come and stay or whatever it is, if you are there Sunday morning,
you're going
my
to
dad
church
is like a
with us.
64-year-old is like, get in the car, we're going to church.
My
And they
mom
might be
does
like-
that too. It's I love it. I love watching her because then she makes people
But I
go.
think- But I think some parents these days are like, oh, I don't want to boss them around. It's like, no, you're meant to be the boss.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like- It's not a democracy at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a kingdom. And you're the king.
It's a monarch.
It's
Like
a
King
monarchy.
Charles.
Like Papua New Guinea. And so I think that accountability, I feel like for families, like
Yeah.
That's like the number one. Like
Yeah.
we go to church every Sunday
Yeah.
and you build that block
And
in.
I think we underestimate some of these little built-in accountabilities. We
Yeah.
think it has to be this whole promposal. Will you be my accountability partner?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, but that
Oh,
stuff,
that's so
it's
funny.
Yeah.
so not organic and it doesn't work.
It
Yeah.
usually
I have
doesn't
people
work,
come up to
yeah.
me, will you be my accountability partner because you scare me? And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna lie to me. I
Right.
don't know
Yeah.
you.
You
Yeah.
just said it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna
There's
say
no
what you want to
relationship.
hear. I don't know you. I don't know your schedule. Like
Yeah.
I'm the last person.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it doesn't. I'm like, no, like you need to find someone that's your peer and someone
Yeah.
you're gonna tell yourself on. Accountability only works if you tell on yourself.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, that it's like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Hey, I
Yeah.
need help with this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it just doesn't really work the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes all the way back to the vulnerability part,
Yeah.
which is to be held accountable is part of being vulnerable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And being like, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm
Yep.
struggling with, and this is
Yeah.
what I want to do.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think
Definitely.
Love it.
one more thing on the like going to church, that being like a accountability.
Yeah.
I think what will help with that, or what at least for me, I was forced to, but when I got to college, obviously my parents weren't there. So I had to have the choice of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
first of all, what church am I going to go to? And am I going to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my freshman year, I went, not very often. And I think
Yeah.
that's honestly become the national average,
Yeah.
like maybe 2 of the 4 Sundays, or depending what statistics, it's like 1 of the 4 Sundays
Yeah.
is an average of when you would show. And then that didn't really change until I started serving in a church.
Mm.
Because I think that's like that built-in accountability.
That's good. Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
don't always, on paper, if you're like, is church good for my spiritual growth? Everyone I think would say yes. But
100%.
every week, Sunday morning, 8 a.m., do I feel like going to church? No.
Right.
I mean, I think like even as a pastor, sometimes I would say no, right?
Yeah.
My spirit wants to, but like my flesh doesn't want to. So I think
Yeah.
that accountability of like, oh, I have to show up, I have to serve, then I think the feeling kind of follows
Yeah.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
So it's like
Good.
built in.
Love it.
Well, the seeker isn't alone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Go ahead and click and subscribe so that you know when the next podcast is coming. I hope you continue to become that seeker and find that community, find that connection, because it's out there for you and God wants more for you. So have a good week. See you guys next time.